Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now today we're gonna be dropping a review. What we're gonna be reviewing? This bad boy right here. I'll never be your crown princess. Oh no! Why? Don't lose faith, fellas. We might still get her yet, alright? Now before I drop the review and I give you my thoughts and so forth, first let's get a quick view of the physical build of the book itself. Let's go to the overview. Alright, so here is the cover. Here's our two main characters. This is Prince Frederick and this is bride-to-be Liliana. Now as you can see on the cover here, it says I'll never be your crown princess, so she doesn't want to be his bride. But man, she's drawn real hot right here. So is he. He's looking pretty hot himself. And look at right here. Look at him right here. Just that sneaky bastard trying to grab some of that pierna right there. Some of that thigh. So yeah, they're both looking pretty hot. I like here that it's I like this special effect they do on the volume 1 right there. That looks cool. Then here it says art by Natsu Kuroki. Love the artist. The artist really got down on this shit. I thought he did a great job. Now, story by Suki Tsukigami. And it says here, character design in Tsutamori. I never seen credit being given to the character designers before. So that's pretty cool. Again, love this cover. And the letters are embossed. These letters, they're like engraved. I don't know if you could tell right there or not. But yeah, they pop out. Here's the spine. The spine is pretty basic. Nothing much. But right here it has the same picture as the cover. Here's the back. And now look at what they do here. Bam. Now he's copying another feel. Look at that. Grabbing on them nice titties. And on the leg. Oh man, this freaking horn dog. I swear, man. Look at this guy. Okay. So yeah, you get these nice colored pages in the beginning. And that's about it. Everything else is in black and white. So yeah, I was really digging that, man. That's it for the design here. The pages, they're like almost like grayish color, and these books are a little more like wobbly, like more wonky. They're the covers on some other mangas. The covers very like stiff, like a cardboard almost, and these are not. These are a lot more flexible and so forth. So that's preference which one you like more. I don't really have a favorite either way, but they do feel a lot different from like a Viz manga or something, right? All right, I gotta warn you, this manga did come wrapped, so it is gonna have some adult content. So for all you youngsters underage out there, you've been warned, can't watch this, but if you still want to, go ahead. Just keep it on the down low, you know what I mean? Okay, so what is this about? It's an isekai and it's a josei. So my interpretation of isekai, I thought it was characters that get transported into a video game world. Turns out I was kind of incorrect about that. It's characters that get transported into another world, into another person's body. So my bad on that one. Now here you got this Japanese woman named Lydia. She gets transported into this younger girl's body that's European. I believe they're like in England or something. So she's in this younger person's body. And in this world or whatever she got transported to, she has to marry this prince named Frederick. Now, Frederick, his people practice polygamy. So that means he has like a lot of wives and so forth. And she in her mind envisions it like, oh, I'm going to have to have orgies with like him and like 5 other girls. And I don't want any part of that, right? She ain't down with that shit. So she wants out. And then she kind of have things that might be just her dad pushing her to marry this guy. One, she's a virgin, so that means she's eligible to marry him. And two, her dad is the prime minister, so he's a higher up in society, and that's the type of people the prince marries. So the dad does want that because it will move him up in society as well, right? He'll be in a nice, comfy spot. Seeing as Lydia was previously in another body and in Japan and whatnot, so she has more experience. She's older mentally. She's been there mentally in certain situations that this other character, this body she's in, has not been in, right? So she was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go to a party and lose my virginity. Once I lose my virginity, not eligible, so I'm off the hook. He won't want to marry me, right? So that's her thought process. So this is her master plan and so forth. She's like, I've had sex before, it's not a big deal to me. The only thing is, I'm in this body that's a virgin, so the body's gonna have to get a little used to this experience, right? Now, let's get a little bit into Frederick's point of view, right? Because the story, it gets told twice. Halfway through the story, we go back to the beginning and tell it through Frederick's point of view. But I'm going to jump forward to his point of view right now, just so you can kind of see where he was at mentally at the same stage of the story, right? He's been with a lot of girls. He's the prince, so a lot of girls want to hook up with him because they want that spot, right? To be a princess and one day be a queen and so forth, right? So he knows that they just want that spot and not really him. And so he's not really that excited about it. And she's even less excited because she doesn't want to marry him at all, right? So he turns out, he goes to these wild parties where people wear masks and there are these higher up society parties, and everybody just wears masks and hooks up with each other, right? He goes to these parties to let loose a little bit, Turns out, Lydia, her plan was, hey, I'm also gonna go to this party and just lose my virginity, right? So they're both gonna meet up at this party. So that's where we're at now. I thought that the story was well done, and we're gonna get more into spoilers now, into more explicit scenes as well. So strap on your seatbelt, because once they meet each other at this party, Frederick, he wears a black wig, so people won't recognize him, you know, because he is the prince. Everybody knows how the prince looks. So he wants to, you know, be undercover and so forth for these situations. Everybody knows how he looks except Lydia, because remember, she's been isekai'd from another world into this body, so she has no idea how the Prince Frederick looks. As fate would have it, they bump into each other at the party. Woo! Love this scene. I was really digging this. It was meant to be. He bumped into her and she bumped into him for a reason, because she could have easily bumped into someone else and just, you know, done the deed and got it over with. And he could have just, how he normally goes and just meets a girl here and hooks up. He could have done that as well, but they didn't, right? So right there, I really liked that scene, and they had this conversation, and he was really digging everything about her. Her personality, she was spunky, she was funny, she was a lot different than these stuck-up society girls that are just after certain things and so forth. And she was having a good time conversating with him as well. She's like, he's nice enough, I'm enjoying his company, so that's why I'm taking home and getting this shit over with, right? Because gotta lose my virginity. So they leave together. Once they leave together, whew, shit gets spicy, homie. It gets hot up in here, you know what I'm saying? Now they hook up, so when we get into the sex scene, man, the artist went all out here. He went with all kinds of angles, all kinds of positions, got uber detailed with this shit. He got real smutty, real smutty. Now, I thought it was really well done. I was digging it. Now, I noticed whenever he zoomed into her tits and so forth, you could tell he loved her tits. He did it justice, right? The art and so forth. Every time he drew them, you could tell he was put extra effort with the artwork, and it looked uber detailed and so forth. You know, he was really into drawing her tits. And me as the reader, I was like, damn, her tits looking yummy. So, you know, as the reader, it brought out the emotions that it was supposed to. So the art did a great job. Do show full frontal nudity from the male character as much as from the female character. So, you know, we get something for the ladies. And we get something for the fellas. Woo, woo. So yeah, everybody will get their kicks. Everybody will get off on this shit, right? And that's what a good sex scene is supposed to do. So there was this scene that got real graphic. This shit got real graphic because he busted a nut all up in her, and it got all into it, right? It served a purpose to the story though. Why? Because now there's gonna be that wonder if now she has to marry the prince when she gets back home, and what if she's pregnant, right? Because he came inside her. That quickly gets debunked because we'll get to that part right now. The next morning, she goes back home and whatnot. The next morning, her dad's like, you gotta meet the prince because you're gonna eventually marry him, right? And she's not really excited about this. She's like, nah, I could tell my dad, oh, you know, I had sex with someone else. And he's like, what? What, are you pregnant? No. And you marry the prince, right? And he finds out it's not his kid, and thoughts, you know, flying everywhere. And it's like, oh man, like you fucked up. What were you doing? You gotta marry the prince. Now when the prince shows up, turns out that's the guy she hooked up with last night. Damn, talk about plot twist. It was like, oh my god. Oh my god, like, and when he shows up, he's like, he knows it's her. He's like, that's the girl from last night. But she doesn't know it's him because now he has his blonde hair and she doesn't recognize him. Now there's another reason he knows it's her. Because after they hooked up, she was asleep for a while and he removed her mask. When he removed her mask, he was like, wow, she's real pretty. Like, with her, he loves everything about her. And now he even likes her looks, as she's gorgeous, right? And that's why he recognized her. She did not recognize him because when he went to sleep, she woke up and took off because she had to be back home before her dad found out, right? So he tells her, hey, don't worry. I know you don't want to marry me. I didn't want to marry you. So I found out it's you. I'm the guy from last night. So he's real excited. And she's like, oh, you're the guy from last night. And she's like, nah, but I still don't want to marry you. I just wanted to hook up with you real quick, right? And he's like, oh, all right. So like he has to win her over because clearly this guy's in love with her. He just said he was willing to leave his other wives and just be with her. She's more than enough for him. And these other girls that bored him, they're out. He's like, this is what I want. This is what I want, right? Like, so, and he's like, I don't want to pull this card, girl, but I am the prince and you got to marry me if I say so. So there he came off a little douchey. Ooh, I'm sweating right here. This was really good. This was good. I was digging it. I like where the story left off. Now I'm rooting for this prince. Man, I hope he wins this girl over. I really want him to get that W. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what he does to win her over. What kind of shenanigans he pulls. You know, he's gonna have to pull out that red carpet and all those extra kinks and so forth for her, right? I mean, it's okay to be a simp, but don't be too much of a simp, because then you know someone could take advantage of that. Alright, so all in all, solid read. Really enjoyed it. I think I'm somewhere about maybe an 8.5 on this one. That's just like a rough estimate, just to get an idea of how good I personally thought the book was. If you guys read this before, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about this book, and are you going to be picking up volume 2. Other than that, I'd just like to thank you guys for taking some time out of your day to check out this video, and I'll check you guys out next time.